I am more me now than I have ever been. And it's so good to sit in that. But where it comes from is, of course, I went through my fair share of relationships in my 20s. I had some good ones. I had some bad ones. I had some ones that I messed up and some ones that I had no business ever being in. But I had a child when I was 34, and it didn't work out with her father. And unfortunately, he has removed himself from her life. And there was a period, it is all my moms out there. It is so hard being a mom. It is so hard being a mom. There's this whole new reflection of holding your own feet to the fire because your child mimics you and you want to be that example. And I got to a point in my life where I struggled. My daughter and I have had some heartbreaking conversations, but I struggled with how to raise her to be a woman without a man. Women and men are counterparts. We'll talk more about that later, but they exist together.
Yes, and they do. Same team.
There was one night particularly, I was bartending when she was born, and I had, it was January. I had to be at work at like 6 o'clock. And so I was leaving the house around 5:15. It was already dark. I had on this low cut dress and, push up bra. My daughter looked at me, she just started talking, and she said, "Oh, Mama, go to work?" And my heart shattered. I did not want my daughter, the woman that I'm raising, to follow in the legacy of my mother and my grandmother, that women have to go to work late at night, that they have to show their boobs, that they have to do this to make money. I wanted her to know that we have different opportunities. And that kind of peeled back the first layer of the onion for me.
Yes.
But then when I sat down in the mirror and did what my gram told me to do, that took me, 37 years to figure out what exactly she was talking about. I sat down in the mirror and realized that there were so many things about myself that I carried a substantial amount of bitterness to her father. I've always been chill. Like, I'm cool with most of my exes, people I break up with, but I was bitter about what he did to her. And when somebody hurts your child or abandons their child, and I went through this phase of, I say the first year and a half of her life, I could do anything. I was hell-bent to prove to my daughter that women can do anything. We don't need a man. We can do what we need to do. Mama will take care of this. You're not going to want for anything. You're not going to lose anything. You got me, and that's all you need.
You went into that superwoman survival mode because you were still hurt. And it's like what you do is like, and it's also to prove to others. And you may not even have known that you were doing it to prove to others. Watch, he left me, but I got this. I'm going to do it. I don't need him. I will never need a man. It'll just be me and my daughter, and that's all she needs.
And that's all she needs.
All I need.
But then my daughter started asking random people to be her dad. The guy walking the dog down the street. I remember one day she was looking for her dad. She was playing hide and go seek with her dad. And one day she asked me if I could be her dad. Your kids put you on the spot and you have to have an answer right away. And I sat there and sat in it for a second and was like, honey, Mommy's a woman. I can't be your daddy. Mama, I'll give you everything that I could possibly get my hands on. I'd sleep under a bridge for you to be happy. I can't be your dad.
Yep.
A man has to be your dad.
Yes, he does.
And that also peeled back some layers of the onion for me, where I really had to assess how I'll be able to raise her, to teach her what a true man is without a man. And that's something I still struggle with. I don't know how to show her.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is I don't want her to grow up thinking that men leave. Men do not leave. Men who are nurtured and loved and given a space to grow and be brave and strong and bold and provide and protect. There's plenty of men like that out there. Your mama can't find one, but there's plenty of them out there.
There are plenty, you know what? And there are plenty of men. There are plenty of men out there. And the reason, though, we run into a lot of the other ones is also because a lot of those wounded men or boys are raised by wounded and hurt women. Hurt breeds hurt, pain, bitterness, and all of that. And that's why they grow up to be like that. And that's why we're here.
I think that those go hand in hand, and this might be opening up a whole can of worms, but
girl, come on, we can get off topic.
Okay, so day doesn't exist without night.
Right.
Life doesn't exist without death.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't exist without women. Women don't exist without men. So
Right.
we have this naive sort of sense of femininity or feminism right now that insists that women prove their ability through being able to do all things that a man can do. My gram told me one time that said women are losing their uniqueness because they're so busy trying to prove that they can do everything a man can do. They forgot that God put them here to do everything a man cannot do. So
Yes.
this is like a travesty. It's a distortion of femininity that we're going through.
Yes,
Men have never had to prove their masculinity by being able to be a woman, by being able to do what a woman does. So why do we as women have to prove our femininity butted up against masculine criteria? Why do we as women want to destroy or negate our femininity? Like, I don't want to assimilate. I want to be a woman. I don't want it to be I don't want it to be based off of like, and then this goes to your point. If we're masculizing feminism, what does that do to masculinity? Where does that leave a man?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've talked about this before, and that is a problem that a lot of men have, because what it is telling men now is that we don't need them.
No, we need you.
Irrelevant. You are nothing. You know,
you're not irrelevant.
And they're not, but that's what it's telling them, because now we can do everything without a man. Without a man. They're like, oh, okay, you can go have a baby. You can do this. You're so strong. You got it. You got it. You got it. And here's the thing. There is nothing wrong with being a woman who has a career, or, and all that kind of stuff. But we have this distorted reality of whatever perception of what the strong woman is. And that's another reason why, is because a lot of people think that's just in the Black community, and it is not. There are a lot of women who feel that being strong, okay, and that their strength resides in, one, them mimicking a man, certain masculine traits, which like I've said before, we have the masculine, we have the feminine, but you should be able to tap into both. But as a woman, as a woman, your main source of strength comes from your feminine traits, okay, your feminine power. As a man, you have masculine and feminine, but your main source of strength comes from the masculine. And then men can even tap into that feminine, when they need to. Women can tap into that masculine. But it's telling us that we don't need a man, and that there's really no point in having them. They are worthless, and that this is what a strong woman is. But that strong woman mentality was choking the life out of me. Me thinking that I could not cry, that I could not ask for help, that I had to be strong and stoic. I went into my therapy session one time, and my counselor was like, you act like a soldier. He said, you were so cut off. And I remember he leaned into me. He was like, do you cry? I was like, do I what? He was like, do you cry? He was like, you are so cut off from all your emotions. He said, you're so hard and you're so rigid. He said, even the way you're sitting here now, he said, you come in and you just start talking like, okay, I'm going to tell you how I feel today. I'm going to do this, this, and this, because it was like a control thing. And he was like, it's killing. And it was killing me. And that's the thing, is that we are killing what women are. Like your grandmother said, we have gotten away from what makes a woman a woman. So when we go back to like Women's International Day and this whole Women's History Month, yes, I applaud all of these with all women, whether you are in the workplace, whether you are a CEO, or whether you are a stay-at-home mom or whatever. I applaud all women. Your power, your real strength and power lies in that femininity. It lies in the essence of a woman, what being a real woman is about. Those are the things that you think are bad, and the things that you think make you weak really make you strong. And baby, when I tell you that, like I said, everybody around you will be able to benefit from it, but you will be able to take yourself to places in every area that you never thought you could go if you realize that it is okay. There is power in your softness.